Okay, I want to show you the filming setup that I have. This is the little selfie stick that I use, and of course you have your connection right up here where your camera goes. I'll show you that in a second. And this thing here opens up like this. Very simple. Opens up to about 2 foot, and then you just turn it and it locks, and it's very sturdy. I'll have links below where I purchased these on Amazon. Now here is the Comica wireless system that I use them. Has 2 transmitters, so you could have this on 2 different people, interviewing 2 different people talking with 1 receiver, and this receiver goes on to my DJI Action Cam, which I'll show you here in a few seconds. Here's the Action Cam. The Action Cam will go on here like such. Line the holes up. Popped out the nut. There's a lock nut that goes in there. Now that's the system there. Now you take your receiver. This is the Comica receiver. Has the clicky thing on the. That'll fit right into the cold shoe of the camera. Goes on there just like so. Okay, now this camera has a special, if you want to hook a mic up to it, it goes into a USB-C. This is a USB-C converter to a 1/8 inch microphone jack, and this will plug in there just like so. And this end, which I kind of whip around here like this, will go into the out of the receiver. Now that is the camera that I'm riding down the road with, and of course that's the lens that has a front screen and a back screen, so when I'm pointing it at me doing a selfie, I can see myself in the front or myself in the back. You switch them back and forth. Can't have them both on at the same time. These here are the mics. If you look there, that's a microphone. Has a microphone in there. Or I have a jack out, and I have the little lavalier microphones right here, and you plug that in to here, and you're not using this one. Also, they give you a little wind dead cat. If you look at it here, it has a little square end on it, and it'll pop right on there very nicely, and that gives you the stops that wind from making all that terrible noise. Helps make that wind. And you can also take this off and wiggle it onto your lavalier mic if you want to. So this is quick and easy, and if you don't really care if anybody sees the microphone, the little transmitter deal here, then this is the way to go. And I couldn't give a damn if you see this thing clipped onto me one way or the other. I'm not producing a film or anything. So that's my setup. So I have 2 of these. I can wear one, my friend can wear one. As we're riding, when we get riding, and you can hear us both. And that's transmitted to this receiver, and the receiver then in turn goes in and is connected to the DJI Osmo Action Camera. So that's my setup, and I think it's very simple. It's easy to use, and I don't have to worry about syncing up sound or anything. It's going right on in there. Back in the day, I always used a separate recorder and such, and I had to sync up the sound. You know, had to do the old deal to sync up the sound. All right, that's my deal, and I thought I'd show that to you before I take off here and do my ride. This will be old Skeeter. See you in a little bit. Okay, folks, here I am on the road. Today is Monday, February the 13th in the year 2023. It's a cool day down here in Florida compared to what we usually have going on in the summertime and such. Woke up in the low 50s. Sun's out. Won't take long to get warm now. Today I'm riding the Expedition, which has power assist. So it's going to be a much easier day today. And I'm glad. My legs are still a little sore. Got a tight corner here. Sometimes the cars kind of make a wide sweep around there, and they clip you if you get the chance. But the grade school's letting out. I have a grade school behind me. They let out around this time of day, I think 2 o'clock or so. Well, today I'm going to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart. Skin cancer. When I was a young man, 10 foot tall, bulletproof, I did working in construction, framing homes down here in Florida. Be up on that roof, no shirt on, hair down to my butt. Just sheet nose roofs in my 20s. I mean, tons of sun on my skin. Day after day after day. Sweating, drinking gallons and gallons of water. Now, after all those years, I'm paying for that sun being on my skin. I'm a regular at my dermatologist, having pieces of me cut off and pieces of me frozen with liquid nitrogen, and being checked. In fact, as I go in, I think next week sometime, and I got some things I want checked out on my hands. That's why you see me all covered up here. I got long sleeves on. I got gloves that protect me from the sun. They're not protecting me from the road rash or anything like that. It's just protection from the sun. And the brim on this hat, I don't like sunscreen on my face. It's just, I don't like it. And I don't use it. That's why I have this big brim to protect me. If I put that sunscreen on, and somehow or another the vapors get up underneath of my sunglasses, and oh man, it starts irritating the daylights out of my eyes. Then my eyes are all blurry, can't see, and I'm riding down the road. I don't like it. Have to stop and wipe my eyes out. I don't care for it. But I am a firm believer in being covered up. And a lot of people say, well, isn't it hot? Darn, man, you're all covered up there, man. Aren't you hot? And honestly, no, I'm really not. I can tell you what's hot. What's hot is that Florida sun on your skin. Now, that's hot. Oh, yeah, I sweat a little bit, but nobody drowns in sweat. That I know of. If you know anybody that drowned in sweat, put a comment below. I'd be interested in hearing about that. I could tell that to relay that to my late father, who was a firm believer in that saying, hey, Dad, it's hot out here. You know, nobody drowns in sweat, boy. Get back to work. My father was a general contractor. I'm the youngest of 14 kids. That's 7 girls, 7 boys. All the boys worked with Dad. We got to learn the business. Just like the farmers' kids learn how to farm. We learned how to be contractors. Then my uncles, I had one uncle, was an electrician. He owned an electric company. Had another uncle, Uncle Paul. He was a plumber. He had a plumbing company. And my dad used to loan us out to him. So we learned the electric trade and the plumbing trade. So even though at the time of being young men, punk kids basically, we complained about it. Never had any time off. You know, we heard the kids in school say, hey, next week starts summer vacation. Whoopee. Next week starts work full time. Not just after school and on weekends. Well, these kids come back and they tell you all about the time they were in camp. And or went to go see relatives out west or someplace, or on some sort of vacation down at the beach. Hey, what did you do? Worked with my dad. That's what I did. And I was the youngest of my older brothers. Boy, you heard about crap flowing downhill. Oh yeah, it stopped at me. I mean, I come from a bunch of ruffians. My brothers had no problem at all harassing me. And they would, they throw me off a roof. I mean, if I give you any idea. Few times, that is. I wasn't not only a helper, I was
they're helper too, and that stuff just passed down from one brother to the other brother and down to me. But hey, it is what it was, and it didn't hurt me none. I grew up in construction. I got away from construction. I come from a musical family. My brothers, my dad, and all of them, they played instruments. My dad was a guitar player, banjo player, mandolin player. My brother played guitar. They needed a bass player, so there I was. I became the bass player. And I got real good at it. Got hooked up with a country band. They were pretty darn good. We got a booking agent, and they booked us all over the country. We rode all over the country and playing in this country band. Made good money too, but it was a very hard life. Extremely hard life. Ooh, just hit a damn big old log sitting out there in the middle of the road. Gotta make my right hand turn there. Yep, I did that for a few years, and I retired myself from that. Came back home, moved to Florida, got in construction down here. Worked for some people for a little while, then I turned around and started my own business. I built staircases, was my main thing. Curb staircases was my specialty. I love to bend wood. I did that for 50-something on years. And that's what I retired from. Always stayed in real good shape because you're building staircases. You are up and down stairs constantly. Up the stairs, down the stairs, up the stairs, down the stairs. Sure didn't need no stair master. I was the stair master. He didn't think much about it. He just did it. He just did it. And after I retired, I really went to hell physically because I really didn't want to do anything. I mean, I worked hard all my life. Oh. Man, I didn't downshift there. Some people picking up their young'uns. School buses are letting out. So I got riding bicycle. I rode a bicycle for quite some time. Got real good at it. And one day I was out riding, had my feet clipped in on the pedals, and my knee locked up. I mean, it locked up. It did not want to move. So I was slowing down, and I unclipped my one foot, wasn't no problem. But the foot that the knee locked up on, I couldn't get it unclipped. So my plan was to lean over onto the foot that was unclipped so I could get off the bike. Well, there was a little change in plan there. The bike wanted to lean off to the other foot, and there was nothing I could do about it. So over I went. That'd been good to film. Plunk, I fell over. Then my foot comes unconnected from the clip. So I sat along the side of the road in the grass, and I rubbed my leg and tried to pop that kneecap back in. After a while, I heard it go pip, and I went back in where it belonged, and I got back on the bike, and I just took it easy and got myself back home. Then I got out again, was riding my bike again, and same thing, my knee locked up. Just a little bit more educated about it this time. I turned around and I really yanked popped the daylights out of my foot to get that to be unlocked. So I got unlocked and I got off the bike okay this time. So I sat alongside the road and I sat there for a long time. That knee did not want to go back. It just wanted to torture me. So I did get back on a bike after sitting there after a couple of hours, and I just kind of just clipped the one foot, because you can, if you're clipped in, you can ride with one foot, push and pull. And that's basically what I did, just enough to get home. And I didn't go to the doctors or anything. I just gave up riding that bike. I really missed it. So the doctor started getting on me, putting on some weight, wanted me to, do some sort of exercise to help my blood pressure and my diabetes. And she says, what you got walking? I said, man, I hate walking. I don't want to walk. And she says, how about bike riding? I said, I really like the bike ride. I really would. But I got issues with my knee on that. And I said, besides, I do take the bike out every now and then. I will hop on the bike and just ride around the neighborhood just a little bit. I said, man, I just can't realize how uncomfortable that seat was. So she says, well, you gotta come up with something. I said, well, I'm gonna come up with something. I'll see what I'll come up with. I'm gonna get some sort of. She said, how about basketball? I said, oh yeah. Yeah, me playing basketball. Forget that one. I have a hard time playing pickleball. So I'm on the internet, just not really looking for any type of exercise, and I come across this guy's riding recumbent trike. I said, you know what? That is pretty darn cool. I wouldn't, I don't think I wouldn't mind trying that. So, the guy had one for sale. I went up to check it out. He let me ride it around the block a few times, and I told him, you know, I'm going to buy this because I think I can do this. And that's how I got started in the riding recumbent trikes. Now, right now, I'm a firm believer in it. It's now don't go thinking that you have the speed capability of somebody riding two wheels, because first of all, you have no ability whatsoever to stand up and put any weight on your pedals. It's all leg power. And I'm riding my son. I know my son, he gets going, he can go 18 miles an hour. There's no way I can do that unless I'm going down a hill. I'm riding this assisted bike. I could do it. But well, other than that, as far as motivating is concerned, hey, I go anywhere I want. I mean, you get a power assisted bike like this, and you know, I can. What do I got this thing in? Oh, I'm riding in turbo. No wonder it's so damn easy. As I said before, this thing has four modes you ride in. It's got Econo, which gives you a little bit, and you have what's called Touring, and that gives you a little bit more, a little help, and you get like 90 miles out of it or something like that. You can get quite a few miles out of it. Then you got Sport, which gives you some more. Then you got Turbo. Like what's coming up here, I got a little 4% hill, and I click it in Turbo. I know what I did last time I was up here. There was a car behind me. I mean, a car coming, and I had to stop, and I didn't downshift, so I shifted this thing into Turbo to help me keep going here. Like this, let me shift it over here in case I get up here and I have to stop for a vehicle. As a rule, I don't run into them that often back here in the neighborhood. So yeah, in the seating position, now these Catrikes, the Expedition, the 700, I don't know, some of the other ones, they have no way for you to adjust your seat. So you're in the position. This here is not as radical as the 700. 700 has like 25-degree seat. This one's 30 something, 37, something like that. And it's, to me, it's nice. I like the more radical 700, leaning back further. A lot of people don't. And a lot of people say, well, how do you get out of that thing? Well, that's all part of the exercise. I lean up, I grab pedal, and I just pull myself right up. So I get out and getting down, I just get in position and I go plop and down I go. Easy peasy. I have a little trailer that I made from a one of those little buggies that haul kids around in the back of your bike. I took all the fabric off of it, and the little aluminum dome parts that was on it. Just cleared it off, took all that stuff off. It's got 16-inch wheels, pneumatic wheels. I took a piece of aluminum, made a floor on it. Didn't have a floor, I had a cloth floor. I made a floor on it, pop riveted it on, turned around and got me one of these big containers, one of these black containers with a yellow lid, and I hold that on there with bungee cords. Made a bungee cord setup, pops it right on there, and I put a flag on it, and I hook it up to the trike here, and if for whatever reason, if I wanted to run down to the store, and I've done it several times, I can load it up with groceries and whatnot, and bring it on back home. If I go out riding with a crew of people or something like that, and I want do a picnic or have some food. I'm very limited on space on here. I do have two small bags on each side, and they're full with necessities like tools and the such that I really have no room. Oh, I could stick a couple candy bars in there or something, but I can carry 3 containers of water on here. 3 squeeze bottles of water. That's no problem. And I don't have any room for if you want take some sandwiches and a beer or something. Some sort of drink other than water. I don't really drink just water. I drink this product's made by Gatorade. It's called Propel, and it's has all the electrolytes and stuff that's good for you when you're sweating down here in the Florida sun. I drink that and put that in my bottles. I haven't used that trailer in a while. I go ride with my friend. It's just pretty much me and him, and we're not doing. Maybe if I was going to run some distance or something, if I did that, I would use this bike and not the 700. Now you can ride this bike with the assist turned off. So if people say you're not getting enough exercise, or they think you're cheating or whatever it is, just shut it off and ride it. I mean, I have on occasion, Don't want to brag about it, but I have forgot the battery. Drove down to my buddies. I get down there and say, oh crap, I forgot my battery. Well, you're not assisted. You're not assisted, my man. You're running the plain old leg powered Trike. And you know, the bad part about it, there is a little disadvantage about it. When you have a mid-drive, the mid-drive goes right up front on these Trikes, and the pedals are on the mid-drive. So when you're cranking on the mid-drive. And that could be either a Bafang or a Bosch system. No matter how it is, if it's a mid-drive, it's on your pedals. If it's on a bicycle, it's hooked to your pedals. Not like a hub motor. Hub motor's hooked to your built-in, laced in with your wheel, either your front wheel or your back wheel. And when that one turns, your wheel. This one here is in with the crank on this one. And it gives you assist. It actually physically helps you pedal. Alright, that's the mailman. I'm not going to get in his way. Me and him get all tangled up together, and I pass him, he passes me, I pass him, he passes me. Gets to be a cluster Vergnügen, like we say in Germany. I've been riding about 33 minutes. Almost 8 miles. 3 3/4 miles. Here I show you the Bosch, you can see it. And the disadvantage I was talking about is that you don't have your 3 drive cogs like you would on a regular non-assisted bike. You have 3 cogs up front. You have a small, medium, and large. I think the large is like 52 tubes. I don't know, the medium's 36, and the small one's like 32 or 34. And the combination of those, along with your cassette in the back, is what gives you all your speeds. Now, generally, I can ride my other bike and I could just switch between the 3 gears up front instead of being bothered with the ones in the front, in the back, the cassettes in the back. All you're doing is finding the gear that you'd like to be in. For whatever you're riding down the road, elevation, if it's flat. It's a flat On this bike right here, I just put it in, I think it has a 11 tooth in the back for your gear, and I keep it in that most of the time, unless I'm going up a hill, then I'll change it out of that. But right now, between this and the assist, I can keep it in. I can keep it in that. Now the 700, I just usually just find a central gear, maybe 5, 6, something like that, and I'll just use the ones in the front, the 3 in the front, and that'll about give me everything I need. Quite a bit breezy today. We had a front come through. Anytime we have a front come through, we get the wind. And basically, the only way we get cold in Florida, if the front pushes that cold air from up north down to us. If mailman's coming. If that air isn't pushed, that cold air isn't pushed down to us, it would never get cold down here. But once the front comes through, you always got a few days of windy weather. Yesterday it was like 25 mile an hour steady. We gust up to 40. That's no fun fishing, riding the bike, or not too much fun. Maybe flying a kite, maybe. Little barker. So we're getting the remnants of it here. It's, as you can see, that sky is pretty darn clear. That's not normal for Florida. We always got big puffy white clouds with the humidity. I guess the humidity will start coming back and it'll warm back up again. That's fine with me. I take the cool weather when it comes, because 75% of the time it's hot down here. And when the heat comes, take that too. Lived here long enough to know how to work with the heat. You give me, I don't care how hot it is, how humid it is. You just give me a chair. Hey, you're different. Just give me a chair and a shade tree, and I'll plop myself up in the shade. Hey, I'm just fine. Don't need to be in air conditioning, but I'll take it. I'll take it when I can, but if I'm outside mowing the grass, I'm covered up just like I am right now, my whole body, got my big old hat on and mowing the grass. I'm sweating like a pig. But I really have no issues with it. Just done it for so long. 40 minutes. Almost 10 miles. Let's show you my setup here. The bottom is the Bosch system. Top is the Garmin. Garmin I'm using is a year or two old. It's the model 820. It's small. It's cut color. Edge. The Edge 820. And it gives me all the good stuff you would ever need riding this trike or bike. It has maps. I can put it in GPS with the maps. It gives me I have a heart rate sensor. It reads that. If you had cadence sensors on your cranks, it'll read that. I don't use the cadence sensors. My son does. He likes his cadence sensors. Yeah, I just I don't have a use for them. But it loads up into an app on your phone or on your PC or Apple to Garmin Connect, and it just keeps track of all my rides and how many rides I've been riding since I acquired the unit, and how much elevation I went up and down. Shows a map of my ride, keeps a log of all that stuff. So it's pretty nice. So I don't have to write none of that stuff down. It's just automatically just being put into the unit and up to the app. Then my son, he uses his, and my friend that I ride with, Jimbo, he has a Garmin also. And I'll get a notification he's out riding. Well, that he rode, because it uploads it and how far he went. You can see his map, what he done, his heart rate, all that stuff. You can get to share all that stuff if you want to. If you don't want to share it, you don't have to. Coasting down the hill. The Garmin speedometer is a little off. It's saying I'm doing about 24 miles an hour. I think it's 2 miles an hour off. And compared to the GPS, I'll take it that the GPS is correct. Okay, back out here in Buzzsaw Lane. Well, so regular's $3.35.9 here, Sunoco. There's Marty's big old flag blowing out there in the breeze today. You can see the little kind of tree hut he built on that big old steel pole that he's got up there. That is a big flag, that's for sure. "48 minutes, 11.4 miles. Getting ready to shift some gears. Nobody that away. Nobody that away. This is my canopy area again. Got the old Spanish moss in the trees. Now my daughter, she lives down near Fort Lauderdale. In fact, I think she moved up to Pompano Beach area now, which is north of Fort Lauderdale. And my great grandson lives down that way, and he says he can always tell when he's getting close up to our way is by that stuff in the trees. It's kind of strange in a way, They don't have it down there in the Miami area, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and all that down there. They don't have it down there. And of course, if you go up further north, they don't have it either. So it seems like the Spanish moss likes to hang out down here in the central part of Florida here for us. I don't know exactly how far up it goes. Well, this is the Sheriff's Department. Deputy Sheriff. Somebody doing something bad down here? No, oh, there's people over there talking. All right. I think I hear it. Yeah. Military jet. I don't know if that's a KC-137 or not. We got Medill Air Force Base here in Tampa. And they got the KC-137 tankers. We get to see them quite a bit. A lot of the, we get to see a lot of fighter jets and A-10s and such this time of year. People up north, the military's up north, it'll send some of those planes down here at MacDill and let those guys fly around down here. We got a bombing range down in Avon Park, so they can go down there and drop a few bombs. And they dropped a few bombs out in the Gulf. I don't know if they stopped that or not. Hurting the fish out there or something. I guess a 1,000-pound bomb would put a hurt on the fish. But we used to hear them all the time out there, you know, boom, 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 the concussion. Tell you what else you heard too. You heard the space shuttle when it came back in. The space shuttle would come back in. Oh, you hear the sonic boom from that thing. We don't hear it from the SpaceX coming in. I know they hear them over there. They get the sonic boom. We don't hear that here. What you did from that space shuttle. You can hear the rumble. You get the wind blowing right. When that space shuttle took off, you could hear that rumble eventually come over here. You'd be sitting here, you just, all of a sudden, you just wonder what the heck that noise is, that rumbling. You stop and think about it. It was the space shuttle taking off. And also, the Falcon Heavy was taking off, so I was going to get a real good shot of it. And with my drone, so I took my drone, took it up a couple hundred feet, get over top the trees and stuff. We can see it from here. I just figured I'd take the drone up and get a little better shot of it. Won't be any trees in the way or anything like that. And it went up. I got the video of a boy. I know it's a powerful rocket, but it ain't no space shuttle. It ain't nothing like those boosters. Those boosters, man, them things just put out some bright light. I mean, you thought the sun was coming up over there when that thing took off. That's east of me here. And That sucker really would put out a plume of yellow orange flames out of that thing. Left a damn contrail going up. I was watching it when it blew up too. Time it blew up, and kind of said to myself, that's not right. Whatever's going on there ain't right. And went back in the house, turned on TV, and that was back when the space launch just wasn't that big of a deal. It just, they were doing it so much. So they kind of got complacent with it as far as showing it on TV and such. But man, that was a terrible thing to see with your own eyes. Kind of waiting for this big rocket SpaceX got over there in Texas. Of course, might go up here, and they're building a facility also at the Cape. But I sure waiting to see that that big monster go up. Sure like to see it go up. Of course, they say the first time it goes up, they're not gonna catch it. But I sure would like to. I sure would like to see them catch it with those chopstick thingies. That would be that'd be pretty amazing. Got some nice boats there. One of them's a Donzi. I was always kind of partial to a Donzi. And go fast boats, fishing boats there. Plenty of boats in Florida. I think we got more coastline. I think we got more coastline in California when it comes to actual coastline. The East Coast and the West Coast of Florida has quite a bit, and it's a lot different fishing in the Gulf of Mexico compared to the Atlantic Ocean. The Gulf of Mexico, you can go out for miles and miles and miles and miles. In fact, if you go up to North Florida, if you go up on up near Dustin in that area in Florida, before you get to Panama City and that way, you go out like 30 miles, you'll be in 30 feet of water. It doesn't get deep real fast out there. It does if you go further out. It does get deep, but not like not like down where my daughter lives down there. You know, you go out if you go out a quarter mile and you're in 3,000 feet of water. We always said you buy a boat. You want to buy a boat? You buy a boat from the East Coast. Don't have as many miles on it because they don't have to go out as far as they do here. And we catch. I had a 22-foot boat. I used to do did a lot of scuba diving, and we used to go out there, and a friend of mine, he had a commercial license, so we could sell our catch, our harvest to the restaurants, which we got more money for it that way. We go out and get grouper, triggerfish, hog snapper, sea bass, shark. They would buy shark, and we sold it to them. All right, my ride's done. So this be old Skeeter down here in St. Paul, Florida. He be gone.